Welcome into another video. We are finally here, folks. 20 days until the NFL draft, and we are going to be talking about my first position group of the 2026 class, and that is the linebackers. A very fun class of linebackers. Some athletic freaks. You got your straight Mikes, your green dot guys. A good amount of people that we're going to be going through. You even got some pass rushing traits guys in there. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now, and you guys might hate me for it. Arvell Reese is not on the list. He is in my edge rusher pile. I think he's an edge rusher. It's the same thing as what I did with Travis Hunter last year. Like, that's how I'm feeling about Arvell Reese. I'm taking him out of my linebackers. I'm just putting him with the straight edge rushers. And I'm not a professional. Like, I think I know what the hell I'm talking about. That's why I make these videos. Let's have some respectful ball talk in the comments about some of these guys. Let's bounce some ideas off each other. Why do you like this guy more than I like this guy? Well, let's go ahead and get into it. You're not here for Yap Fest. You're here to see who my top 10 are. We're going to kick it off with my number 10 guy, and that is Keyshawn Elliott out of Arizona State University. 22-year-old with a 6.928 grade I gave him. I have a very weird grading system that I don't need to get into. I have him as a fourth round pick, which I feel like is fair. This is a multi-program green dot guy, though. You can rely on him to be a leader, command your defense. He does have some athletic limitations that will, keep his ceiling a little bit lower, but he has a strong floor as a rotational piece on early downs. Flashes of pass rush traits that are going to boost his stock, and he can wear the green dot with no problem if your starting Mike goes down. I think him is more of an early down rotational linebacker. He does have some pretty solid numbers. I mean, 7 sacks and 14 tackles for loss, prove that he has value around the line of scrimmage. And I just don't think he offers much as a coverage backer, which, that's going to limit your value. You need to be able to cover in the NFL with how athletic the league is, and how athletic these tight ends that are coming out are. I mean, we just think about in the last 2 years alone, you have Colston Loveland, Kenyon Sadiq, Tyler Warren. These guys aren't easy to cover. And then you think about the running backs. I mean, you got Jahmyr Gibbs coming out of backfields. You need to be able to cover. And it's as simple as that. And I think that limits Keyshawn Elliott's value, but there's still value. There's so much there. And there's a few of those guys on this list. Let's go ahead and move into my number 9 linebacker. And this is a very traitsy guy. It's Harold Perkins Jr. So many people are 50-50 on this guy. They're like, yeah, 6th round pick, 7th round pick. We don't want to touch him. Others are like, this is a day 2 guy. I have him as an early day 3 player, kind of right in the sweet spot. And a lot of it is I do buy into the traits. I'm a sucker for the traits. I am. I'll be the first one to say that. And that's what I'm saying. He's like one of the most difficult guys to get a grasp on in the class of linebackers. His athleticism and his speed pop off the tape. Supposedly 4.38 at his pro day. I mean, what the hell are we talking about here? Plays more like a Sam, but he's built like a Will. It's like, what are we doing here? He's going to make plays in the backfield. He's got that explosive power, and he's going to be a playmaker. It's going to be some boomer bust in there, but he does have the athleticism to stick with some backs. I just don't think it's all there for him in the head. I think that he's got a high missed tackle. I mean, he had a 21% missed tackle rate in 2025. He's not finishing plays. He takes a lot of risks. He's not phenomenal in coverage either. He looks so lost in zone coverage, but he has the athleticism to be clean in man. You don't want to have him on your field in zone coverage. The dude just sits there and he looks spacey. But if he's in man, he can stick with the backers. He's athletic. And that's what I'm saying, where he's kind of built like a weak side guy, but he does play closer to the line of scrimmage. Edge rusher, I'm pretty sure, coming out of high school. He's got the versatility to be used all over the field. All over the field. They've played him at edge rusher. They've played him in the middle. They have him blitzing. They have him in coverage. He really is kind of like a chameleon out there. You don't know what the hell he's going to do. You don't know if he's going to be blitzing. You don't know if he's going to be in coverage. It's crazy how good he hides it and how versatile he is. So I think for me, it's more like there's a lot of things kind of playing into one here, where it's like he's got that disruptor trait where he's going to be a freak around the line of scrimmage. He's very versatile. He's played all over the LSU defense, and he has extreme athleticism, but he just really hasn't ever pieced it together to be a complete player. I think that's why he's a really good value on day 3 in the 4th round. I would love a 4th round selection for Harold Perkins Jr. to any linebacker needing team, any defense needy team. Like, he's a versatile guy. I think you're getting into the risky territory, though, if you're looking at like an early day 2 pick. I could understand back end of day 3 or of day 2, like if you want to maybe sneak him in the 3rd because of that athleticism, because of the traits, I can understand it. But I think he's safe for a day 3 or an early day 3 pick. Let's go ahead and move into my number 8 backer. Going with Deontay Lawson out of Alabama. And he's a very rangy guy. Look at the build on him. 6'3", 226, 32-inch arms. You see it right there in his build. In that picture, you could see the arm length. He just looks like a linebacker. I just feel like he lacks a feel in the run game that you want from your backers, though. He's not really a major playmaker in the backfield. High missed tackle rate. And you really want your athletic, big linebackers like Deontay Lawson to be good in the run game. You need to be. He is a 2-time captain in the SEC, which I take that very seriously. You know, if you're in the SEC or in the Big Ten and you're a team captain, automatic like boost in your grade for me. I love it. Like that's huge for me. He's very, very quick, sideline to sideline speed. He covers so much ground very quickly, and he's got the length too, right? That's why I like him in coverage. He's very good in zone coverage because he has that short area quickness where he can boom, get to his zone as quickly as possible. He has that quick burst to close on the hooks and the curls, and I love that from Deontay Lawson. I just don't think the run game feel is there. I view him as like your rotational will linebacker. You know, he's going to be out there on later downs, obvious passing situations, and I think he's going to make a very good impact for your defense in passing situations because he is a freak. This is a guy who can stick with backers and tight ends, and I do think that, which is a little bit of work and a little bit of time, this is a guy who could get a better feel for the NFL run game because he has the speed and the explosiveness to burst into these gaps and make plays in the backfield. But he just doesn't have a true feel for it, I don't think, yet. Much better in coverage. I see him as a rotational, weak side, smaller side guy, covering the backs and the tight ends. That's what I'm rolling with. Let's go ahead and move into my number 7 linebacker with NFL bloodlines himself, Josiah Trotter. He's a freak. You know, he's got the ideal build. He's a very, very, very aggressive player. He plays very violently. I just think that he needs more time. I don't think he's worth a 2nd round pick quite yet. I do think he has, you know, a very high ceiling, but I think his more immediate impact is going to come around the line of scrimmage. He's a very high level blitzer. He shows flashes with both finesse and power moves around the line of scrimmage to make a lot of plays in the backfield. But that aggression sometimes gets him beat. And I think that's just more the youth in him and the lack of feel. And he only has 2 years of playing time. So I think that comes with that. Also, he's not sound in coverage whatsoever yet. I think this is just more of a developmental player. Good value in the 3rd round because the ceiling is there. And he does bring a very violent, very, very violent force to your defense, who I think, like I said, he can bring early down disruption around the line of scrimmage. I like Josiah Trotter a lot. I think the ceiling is there for him. I just don't think, especially as an off-ball linebacker, that it's worth the risk for a 2nd round pick. It just doesn't have much ball production. And like I said, I just don't think he's that sound in coverage where you gotta be. You have to be sound in coverage, man. And I just don't think he's there yet. And it's going to take time for this guy to develop into an NFL linebacker. But once he gets going, I think we're looking at a very good linebacker at the NFL level. Let's go ahead and move into my number 6 linebacker. And this is for sure the one that's going to get me the most hate. I think so, at least, because going off of consensus rankings, he's a very high player, most higher than 6. And I'm going with C.J. Allen. And I got to just preface by saying this. If you just need your Mike linebacker, your green dot guy, this is it right here. Like, if you just need somebody who's going to bring a raise the floor of your defense in the run game, be a leader, command the defense, this is your guy. He looks stiff in coverage. His change of direction isn't great. I don't see him as a 1st round pick like some have him as. And This is, for me, borderline second and third. I gave him that boost of a second because I love the leadership. I love the SEC pedigree. That kind of shit means something to me. I love that he's going to be a green dot guy. He's going to floor-raising defender. I just don't see it as this first-round pick prospect. It's already so tough for me to even be cool with off-ball linebackers being taken in the first round to begin with. Like, there's very few one-off situations where I'm fully cool with it. So for people to be putting CJ Allen in the first round to begin with is kind of a shocker to me, but I get it. I do get it. I understand. But for me, he's a second-round pick. But there's still a lot to like in his game. You know, he's got the instincts of a 5-year NFL veteran. Like, that's how good he is on defense. He knows what he's doing. It's just a lack of athleticism and this kind of stiff, fluid, like this, like there's no fluidity in his game. He's a very stiff player. He's got like some decent speed to him. He can get to the sideline, and he does take proper pursuit angles. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's a very sound and technical player, but overall, he just doesn't have that true athleticism that's going to be this playmaking defender on your defense that I don't think is worth a first-round pick. Like, he's just not a playmaker to me. Is he a floor raiser? Yes. Is he going to be a leader? Is he going to be rocking the green dot? Is he going to be able to command your defense and know what's going on the field at all times? Yes, that is CJ Allen. That is your guy right there. And that's very good. And that is like that kind of shit right there. If that's what you need for your defense, he can give you a boost over some of these other guys that are in my top 5. It's all how you view it and what your team truly needs. Like my number 5 guy, we're going to get into him to a little bit. He is fully traits. This guy might not even be a linebacker. So if you need somebody who's like a true Mike and just going to raise the floor of your defense, of course CJ Allen is more valuable than that, and I would agree with you there. But if I'm going off of ceiling and what I think a player could become, he's got a very high floor, and I don't think his ceiling is that high. That's all. I love CJ Allen. He's obviously, I have a second-round pick on him, so I think he's a good football player. I just don't view him as a first-round pick like some people do. That's all for me. Number 5, Kyle Lewis. This is my guy. If we're doing like my guys, this is my guy right here. Kyle Lewis, my guy. Small, 6 foot 220. You know, that's below average for your linebackers. But this guy, man, the one big thing that I'm worried about is he could be like a positionless guy. He really could. He's a linebacker. But this is a guy who could be playing big nickel, box safety, very versatile. And I love that versatility. I do think he deserves a fair chance to be a weak side linebacker. This guy has the best, like, he has the coverage skills of a safety, of a nickelback. Like, I would not be surprised if this guy plays outside the box a lot. Like, he has insane burst. He can cover running backs like glue. He's sticking with tight ends. He is physical. He closes so well. There is not a lot that I do not like about Kyle Lewis's tape, and why he's not higher for me is essentially just because I am afraid that he's going to be positionless. Like, I do worry that he might not be able to stick it fully as a box safety, but I mean, the intangibles are there. He ran a 4.52. Like, that's there. He's got the 6 foot side, 220 build. Like, he can play box safety. I think he's got the coverage skills to do it as well. Is he going to be able to play nickelback? Now, that's maybe a different story, but I really like Kyle Lewis's tape. I think that he deserves a very fair shake at being a linebacker and somebody who can be moved all over the defense. And I think that's so important. And I think about, like, this is a crazy comparison, but just going off of last year, like, I think about like Nicky Muwari. They were like, well, is he going to be one of those positionless guys? We talk about like the same thing with like Isaiah Simmons a few years ago. Like, is he going to be one of those positionless guys? Isaiah Simmons turned out to be kind of that way, yeah. But even Wari had a phenomenal rookie year because he found a home in the right place. Kyle Lewis needs to find a home in the right place, I think, and he's going to be a stud. He is going to be a phenomenal football player. I do think that there's a chance he slips into the 3rd round because of the chance of him being positionless, but I think I'm in love with Kyle Lewis's tape. I think this is going to be a really good football player, and I'm excited to see where he lands on draft weekend. Let's go into my number 4 guy. We got Jake Golday out of Cincinnati, the Cincinnati guy, coming in at 6'4.5", 240, 32-inch arms, 22 years old. For me, Golday is another one of those traitsy guys, and as you can see here, I fall in love with these traitsy guys, and I do like me some Jake Golday. He is an edge rusher converted into a linebacker, a very, very athletic player. He's huge. He's got the build. The issue is he just doesn't fully have the feel for an off-ball linebacker quite yet. This guy is going to be your strong side Sam linebacker. He's going to be a run game disruptor. He is so quick. He is so fast. He's lined up at nickel before. He's lined up outside. He's a very versatile player, but I do think he's going to get a whole lot of his action around the line of scrimmage. He's going to be popping tight ends in the mouth. He can come off the edge. Like I said, he's an edge rusher turned off ball linebacker. But the beautiful thing about him is his size and how well he moves. He is so fluid. This guy drops his hips. His change of direction is awesome. He just doesn't have like the full feel as a coverage linebacker, which occasionally gets him beat in coverage, of course. But his length and how fluid he is as an athlete, it really does give him the benefit of the doubt. It makes up for his lack of feel for it. And I think as the years go on and he grows in a defense, this is a guy who could be a really a freak of nature player, really, with his size, his athleticism, and his traits, and how well he performed in his limited time as an off-ball linebacker in such a short period of time. That's really exciting. It's a really exciting player, but it's the coverage skills that worry me. Like I said, I think he's going to be working best on the strong side, more of a disruptor around the line of scrimmage to start off his career. But he, like I said, he has the length to really go out there and the athleticism to really go out there in coverage and drop back and make some plays if he needs to. Let's go ahead and move into my number 3 linebacker, the freak of nature, the mustache himself, Jacob Rodriguez. A little older, 23 years old. Believe he turns 24 in week 1 of the NFL season 2. So age isn't phenomenal, but it's a linebacker. It's not the end of the world. But this guy's just so fun to watch, man. This is like your old school guys right here. He just thrives off the energy, man. He has the ultimate linebacker mentality. This is a guy who can command your defense, blow plays up in the run game. I mean, his production this year was phenomenal. By far the best ball production in the entire class. I think he had like 10 forced fumbles over the last 2 years, plenty of interceptions on his film, 2-time team captain, Nagurski winner, Bednarik winner. This guy's phenomenal. His sideline to sideline speed is good. He's not extremely fluid. He's not a freak athlete, but he for his size, he plays really well. And he does have some sneaky athleticism to him, but he's a very violent player. Very violent player. There it is. 10 forced. I knew I had it written down somewhere. 10 forced fumbles in the last 2 years. This guy, when he reminds me so much of like Peanut Tillman because he has the rap and punch. He's got that down, and he is always going after the ball. But he does have 42 missed tackles in the last 2 seasons as well. That's what I'm saying. This is a guy who's really going after it. He's always going to make a play, always going after the ball, which does kind of get him caught up. He missed a lot of tackles, but it's as simple as that. He's an aggressive player. He does bite on the action a decent amount, but he's so fun to watch. I think as the years go on, this guy's going to be a playmaker for an NFL defense, no doubt about it. This guy has a nose for the football. He's a very sound football player. He has that violent mentality. And as time goes on, he's going to be a valuable piece for your defense. Give him a couple of years, and I think he's going to be one of the more fun and one of the better off-ball linebackers in the NFL. Let's go ahead and move to my number 2 linebacker out of Texas, Anthony Hill Jr. Now, another one of those guys where maybe a little bit more traitsy, maybe a little bit higher. I'm maybe a little bit higher than most. I see some people have him as low as 8. I'm a huge Anthony Hill Jr. fan. For starters, he's an athletic freak. I mean, his RAS score over at Math Bomb, off the charts. I think he was, like in the 20s out of the 2,000 linebackers who have ever participated in the combine since X year, whatever. But it was very high percentile RAS score. He is a freak athlete. He's so sound in the run game. He's a very solid coverage linebacker. There's not a whole lot about Anthony Hill Jr.'s tape that I don't like. A few things that kind of popped off the tape to me that I maybe didn't like so much is on the outside, he doesn't seem nearly as physical as he is on the inside. When he gets out there, he has trouble sometimes wrapping up, doesn't play as violent as he does on the inside. But he's got that prototypical size and that good athleticism that just, boom, he can burst through the gaps. He's a patient attacker. He is a violent player, and he will let the running back pick the gap, and then, boom, he strikes, pops him. I love that so much about Anthony Hill Jr. Like I said, there's not much I don't like about his tape at all. I do think that there are some things that he could really work on. Missed 18 tackles this year. And then when he's not like screaming downhill, like when he's not coming in downhill, he sometimes just kind of sits there and doesn't do anything. And then he'll just let blockers right into his chest. Seems like he's kind of like sometimes he's taking a play off or something, because it's like he has so many clips of him coming downhill, screaming downhill, and not letting blockers eat him up and bursting through the gaps. But then also it's just like he's just sitting there, and maybe I just don't know what his role is, and I'm having trouble diagnosing his role in the defense on these plays. But it's just like all of a sudden he's just standing there, and then boom, you got a climbing guard or the center in your chest, and I'm like, what the hell is he doing? So that's only the physicality on the outside as well. Sometimes I just think he needs to wake up a little bit quicker. That's all. I love Anthony Hill Jr. I think he has an extremely high ceiling in the NFL. I think he's going to be a playmaker for years to come. Let's go ahead and move into my number one linebacker of the class, and that, of course, is Sonny Styles out of Ohio State, the safety turned linebacker, who is an absolute freak of a human being. 6'5", 33-inch arms, 244 pounds with 10-inch hands. It's an edge rusher. You know? But it's not. His ceiling is limitless. 5-star size, strength and power to move offensive linemen around. Like I said, he's built like an edge rusher. Covers flats, hooks, curls with ease. Phenomenal in coverage. And even if he does get beat, his speed and athleticism along with his size makes up for so much. He just drops his anchor, turns and runs, and like he has the length to just bat balls out of the air, even if he's beat slightly. Like he covers so much ground. His strides are massive. He has an unlimited ceiling as a player. I do think the Fred Warner comps are really premature, because just to say that he can come in and do what Fred Warner can do is tough. Fred Warner is one of the last, I think, true linebackers of our generation that's probably going to be a guaranteed Hall of Famer. I don't think we're going to see many of those anymore. Same thing with like running backs. You're not going to see a whole lot of running backs going into the Hall of Fame anymore. Fred Warner is one of those guys, one of those game-changing guys. And I understand the comps, the size, the build, the athleticism, all of that. Very similar in that aspect, but I don't think he is nearly as sound as a defender with everything up here as Fred Warner is, but that could come with time. There's no limit to his ceiling as a player. He is a freak. I do worry about taking an off-ball linebacker in the top 10. I've always worried about that. It's the same thing with running backs. I necessarily don't believe that is a formula for success, taking an off-ball linebacker or taking a running back in the top 10. But he's a top 10 talent, and he's like very, very likely to go in the top 10. I do think that the versatility and with his size, hard to convince me that he shouldn't go in the top 10. I'll just say that. But I do have always buyers beware. Like, yeah, I guess in like 5 years, if Sonny Styles doesn't pan out, I'm going to come back to this and be like, told you so, buyers beware. But at the same time, I have played this perfectly because I said, yeah, he's a top 10 talent. Of course he should be a top 10 pick. A lot of other guys who just missed the cutoff: Bryce Betcher, Jimmy Rolder, Torian York, very good players. Day 3 guys, likely 5th round picks who are going to be very impactful. We'll talk about those guys a lot down the line as well. So many videos to come out. This is just the first one of my position group series Defensive tackles next, followed by cornerbacks and safeties. Those are going to be coming out in the coming days. And I'm so excited. This is awesome. 20 days until the NFL draft. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.